Girl Power full kit reveals. We have now had all of the full kits for this set revealed. We have 9 characters that are each getting 8 support cards. I'm going to be doing a series of videos on Girl Power reveals, starting with full kits. Then I'll do a video on mini kits, and then I'll do a video on just back page cards. I'm going to be doing this differently than in the past. In the past, I would go through every single revealed card, and I would do some sort of snap grade between C- and A+. This time, I'm not going to give any snap grades. I'm going to look through each of the characters and put them in a tier list. And then on their kit cards, I'm going to look at I'm going to talk about the ones that I think will actually see competitive play. And then I'm going to jump on UVS Ultra and show the cards that I think might also see competitive play, but just not at a high clip like the ones that I'll go into in this little presentation that I've made. So there were like 72 support cards. I think I put like 18 in this presentation that I think you'll see everywhere. The other cards, we'll just talk about them. They're going to be more niche. But first off, let's give grades for the characters. Okay, let me jump over here to this screen. Character grades. Let's go one by one, starting in the order that they were revealed. So Himiko Toga 4, 6-hander, 29 health, gets to remove a character card from her discard pile, choose a once per game enhance ability on the removed card. This attack gains that ability until the end of the turn. So on offense, you can use this to grab a great offensive ability. On defense, you can go grab a great defensive ability, maybe like Mineta 2, for example. You copy like Younger. A lot of these once per turns, you can go and cancel, but it is going to come at the very real cost of having to run a lot of character cards in your deck to make it work. And then Enhance Mill 1, your attack gets a damage. If it deals damage, gain a health. All of your attacks are going to get 1 damage. If they ever deal, you gain a health. So you're really like a 35, 36 health, 6-hander. Everything's like, that's not bad. I think this character is probably quite good, but you don't have any room in your decks with this character really for assets or actions, because you're going to have to devote all those spots to characters. And then you have to have those characters in your discard pile. There's a lot of variables going on here. There is a good portion of the community that is worried about Rando's Spirit Gun, because you could like use Toga to copy Toga, to copy Toga, to use Rando's Spirit Gun, to get all Toga again, to copy Mineta 2, to copy Mineta 2, to copy Mineta 2, and now you get to use all of those enhances a second time. So in the dream world, you get to debuild your rival 8 foundations. I don't think that that's ever going to see the light of day. There's a lot of ways that UVS Games can put a stop to that. They can say that Rando Spirit Gun only makes once per turn abilities that are printed on your character usable a second time, like printed abilities instead of just gained abilities. They could just ban Rando Spirit Gun. They could make Toga 4 to where she can't copy herself. There's all sorts of ways to shut down that like dream scenario where you get to use a once per turn ability 7, 6, 8 times on your turn. I don't think it's ever going to see the light of day. They'll do something about it. As is with the character, I think she's in the B tier. There's interesting things here. I'm sure somebody's going to take this character and do quite well, but having to run character cards in a deck and you're only a 6-hander, I'm not sure if she's going to be seeing enough cards in hand to really make that worth it. Moving on, Itsuka Kendo. 6-hander, 27 health, but you're really like an 8-hander because she gets commit. This character's hand size becomes 8 until the end of your next turn. So her, like she is in the show, her fists get bigger. In this, her hand size is getting bigger. It's a flavor win. Enhance, commit a foundation, your mid attack gets +2 damage and gains stun 1. Okay, basically getting 3 stats for committing a foundation. We have characters like Wolfwood that give 3 stats for free, but this is an 8-hander. Now you are a 6-hander to start the game. And we have a lot of 6-handers that become 8-handers in some form or fashion. Wolfwood discards a momentum to draw 2. Vash discards an attack to draw 3, becomes an 8-hander. All Might 7, when he deals 6 or more damage, he becomes an 8-hander. Um, and there's a lot more. I just can't really think of them on the spot here. But six handers that become eight handers is a very traveled design space, so I'm not sure if that's going to be quite enough. Now hers is quite free. You know, if you're going second, you can even become an eight hander on your turn two, and it's a lot less interactable than the others and doesn't come with a serious cost behind form committing her. So you'll use her as your final form that turn. You'll do all of your other forms, and then you'll form Kendo, commit, make your hand size 8. Ultimately, I think this character falls in the B tier. I don't think there's anything crazy going on here. I don't think she's bad at all. I do think she benefits from having probably the strongest kit of any of the full kits revealed. Moving on. Kyoka Jiro 3. 7-hander, 21 health. Once per turn, this attack is +1 or -1 speed for each of its keywords. Look at the top 2 cards of your deck. Okay, that reminds you of Jiro 1 a little bit, getting to look at the top 2. And it reminds you of Midnight a little bit, getting plus or minus speed for keywords. But unlike Midnight, this is usable only once in your turn. And it's not playable while committed, which is going to be a big deal because we get this bottom response, commit. After you check a copy of the card you are trying to play, add the checked card to your hand, you may recheck. Okay, so sometimes you get to be like an 8-hander, right? Oh no, I'm trying to play this attack, I checked an attack, I'll grab that to my hand, I'll recheck, maybe I check a 5 now. That's quite good, but we already have 7-handers that become 8-handers, and they're much more consistent like this. Like Faye, for example. Faye is after it deals damage, add the top card of your discard pile to your hand. That's much more consistent than checking the card that you're trying to play. That's going to be quite hard to do, and her kit actually doesn't give her a lot of ways to do that. I was really expecting cards in her kit to lend themselves to this response. Also, if you use the response, it has a commit cost, but now the enhance is not playable while committed, so you don't even get any defense. I think this character is bad. C tier. Lady Nagant, 6 hand size, 28 health. Response, you can commit, add the top card of your deck to your card pool. After your rival plays a non-character enhanced ability, cancel it. I love having a cancel. I've really enjoyed playing Jin lately. I used to really enjoy playing Shoto Todoroki 1. Having a cancel on face is very, very strong. This one's not quite as good as Jin or Todoroki. You are having to add the top card of your deck to your card pool, but it's still something. I think the vast majority of Lady Nagant's strength, though, is coming from this form ability. Form, play a foundation from your stage as a 2 difficulty ranged high attack with 3 speed and 3 damage. After it resolves, clear it or draw 1 card. So Lady Nagant is basically a 7-hander because she can play this free attack, but she is losing a resource. But most of the time, you'll lose a committed face down, right? And then you can either draw a card and effectively become this like 8-hander, or you can just clear it and clear your progressive. And it's this 2 difficulty. You can play it after like 3 attacks, and now you're still only playing it on a 5. I've been messing around on Evil with like Flurry of Punches. Give your next attack +2 difficulty, +3 speed, +3 damage. There's a lot of value in this form. I think people are kind of sleeping on Lady Nagant. She could be sneaky really good. I'm probably going to be playing this character quite a bit. This is the character from the full kit reveals that I am personally most excited about. I can almost 100% guarantee that I will be playing this character for a local qualifier during Season 2 when Girl Power comes out. But I still don't think she's A tier. Let's put her in B next to Kendo. Next up, Mina Ashido 3. 6 hand size, 29 health. After your ranged or slam attack deals damage, your rival loses 1 health. Commit, remove 2 face down cards from your card pool. Your rival destroys 1 ready foundation. That's good. Like commit to clear 2 from your card pool. Having your rival destroy ready. Now, if they don't have any more readies, then they won't destroy anything. But what I'm wondering about this character is why would you not just play Mina Ashido 2? Mina Ashido 2 ignores progressive much more freely. Your face downs just don't count. And that strategy has been given so much support this last 2 or 3 sets that is very, very viable. And Mina Ashido 2 is doing the your rival loses a health for each of your face downs, right? Which is way more powerful than your rival loses 1 health. Ashido 2 doesn't have that destroy 1 ready foundation, but I just don't know why you wouldn't play Mina Ashido 2. Like, I'm going to put this character in the C tier because she's so outclassed already by an existing character. All right, Mirko 2, 6 hand size, 30 health character. Commit after your Fury or Kick attack deals damage, clear 1 attack from your card pool, and your next attack gets 1/1. Enhance Tenacious, destroy 1 foundation, ready this card. I actually think the vast majority of this character's strength is going to come from that enhance and not the response. The destroy a foundation, ready this card. When this character first got revealed, I was a little underwhelmed, but seeing her kit and her Solo Pro Ferocity or something like that says commit a foundation, your Fury or Kick attack, it's +2 speed. So you could use that, commit Mirko for 2 speed, destroy a foundation, ready Mirko. That's definitely pretty strong. Mirko's going to be able to be used for all of those kind of foundations, those things that say commit 1 foundation, and then you can commit your character as if it were a foundation and then just ready it back up. It's going to help you pass your checks. There's definitely value in that bottom enhance. The top response is a little underwhelming to me personally because it only goes off after you deal damage, and then it's keyword locked to Fury and Kicks, and then it's only giving +1/+1. I wish she was giving speed to make her first attack deal damage. As is, she's having to deal with printed moves to deal damage. I'd rather be clearing on blocks or something, because by the time you're clearing, you'll already have a couple of cards at least in your card pool probably. I don't think this character's bad, but I also don't think she's great. She is firmly in the B tier. Next up, Momo Yaoyorozu 3, 6 hand size, 28 health. First form, commit a foundation. Choose a non-unique foundation in your discard pile. If there are no copies of that card in your stage, build it. There's a lot of value in that form. First of all, that makes her play as like a pseudo 7-hander because she's building in a resource without doing anything from her hand. She's also always going to be able to get basically her most powerful foundations in stage. You're on the life symbol. You really need to see Incredible Display. All right, you got Incredible Display. You need to see Vast Strength, put it in. I guess you could do New Training Method and then respond and build something from your hand. There might be something there. I haven't started making deck lists with this character quite yet. And then you get Enhance, choose a rival foundation. This attack is +1 or -1 speed for each copy of that foundation in their stage. Most often, that's going to say just +1 or -1. Sometimes it might say +2 or -2. I'm already thinking on Earth and Life, you can use that Overhaul attack, Hardened Claw Crusher, something like that, where you get to pick what your rival builds. I think her SR also does something similar to that. So there's going to be ways to where you can make that +2 or -2 or +3 or -3. Somebody is going to crack this character. The getting to free build whatever you want, basically, in your discard pile foundation-wise. That's going to be very, very good. This character doesn't really speak to me personally on an excitement level, but I think she's going to be good. I think this is our first A-tier girl power character. I think we're going to see Momo 3 quite a bit in competitive play. Moving on, Mount Lady 3, 6 hand size, 29 health. Enhance, reveal a momentum. Your non-throw attack gets powerful X. X equals the number of momentum. No. X equals the number of keywords on the revealed card. Basically, on any attack that you like, you can basically give powerful 3, powerful 4, powerful 5, whatever it is. I'm sure that if you're playing this character, you'll have things in your momentum with lots of keywords. Response, commit. After you block an attack, add the top card of your deck to your momentum. Your rival's next attack gets -1 damage for each of your momentum. This character, to me, feels like a little bit better version of Mount Lady 1. You're getting a momentum over your turn cycle. You're getting to give big damage. right? Like Mount Lady 1 was, by giving like powerful 6, powerful 8, you know. Um, and then you also get the benefit of this -1, this like damage reduction after you block something, but you don't get to be very selective with it. You know, it's just the next attack, and most of the time you just have to block what you have to block. So your rival can kind of play around that response. I don't think this character is good. I think she's like a little bit better than Mount Lady 1 was. Mount Lady 1 was like D tier, you know? Um, so let's say Mount Lady 3 is C tier. I think she's going to be fun. You're going to get to dunk on some people with her, but I don't think she's good. Next up, Ochako Uraraka 5. 7 hand size, 21 health. Response twice per turn. After you commit one or more foundations during this enhanced step, your next check is 1. Okay, so over a turn cycle, you're basically getting an extra 4 foundations worth of resources. It's not terrible. Enhance, change the zone of this mid attack to high. It gets +1 speed. It just says it gets +1 speed and this mid attack. You can use this on your attacks and on your rival attacks. If your rival's playing a mid attack, you can make it a high. It does get +1 speed though. My big gripe with this character is that enhance should say it gets +1 or -1 speed. You should be able to make your rivals mid attacks high and give them -1 speed, and then just be able to build your deck completely ignoring mid blocks, hold all these high blocks, like things like Showdown. I don't even think it shares a symbol here. I'm just using it as an example. Airy Smiles maybe shares the good symbol here, and then be able to use your really cool high blocks. That could be pretty interesting. As is, making your mids highs for +1. I think this character might be the worst of this entire set, to be honest. This character is so underwhelming to me. C tier. So these are the 9 characters revealed for full kits in Girl Power. All in all, my review is I think the Girl Power characters are a little underpowered so far. I think we're kind of lacking the power in Girl Power. I've only got us with 1 A tier character. That's Momo 3. We do have some B tier characters. I think you could do pretty well if you want to pick up Toga, Mirko, Kendo, Lady Nagant. You could probably win a local qualifier with those characters. Like I said, I'm excited for Lady Nagant. I think that's a really interesting form ability. I love characters with cancels on face, so I'll personally be playing Lady Nagant. Nina, Ochako, Jiro, Mount Lady, I think they all got kind of done dirty. I don't think they're even going to be winning local qualifiers. I think they're kind of bad. So the power level of this set in terms of characters, I think is lower than Yu Yu Hakusho, Jetburn, Undaunted Raid. It feels more in line with like League of Villains, Heroes Clash, and Crimson Rampage. It just feels a little bit below the power level needed to see serious competitive play. But that's okay. You know, not every set can have these incredible S tier, A tier characters. A lot of these characters still seem fun to me, but personally, if I'm thinking of character strength, I'm still more looking forward to the Godzilla Challenger decks because I think King Ghidorah, Mothra, Rodan, Godzilla. Did I say, is it Rodan? I think I pronounced that wrong. I don't really know any of these characters beyond Godzilla and Mothra. I really liked the Godzilla -1 movie recently, though. But those characters themselves, their design and power level seem much, much higher than what we're getting in Girl Power. So, personally, I think a lot of these characters are kind of a pass for me, and I'll just wait my time for Godzilla. All right. Moving on, let's talk about their character kits. I pulled out 18 of the 72 kit cards that I want to talk about that I think are going to be quite competitive. From there, I can go to UVS Ultra and show some other cards that I think might see niche play but didn't quite make it onto this competitive cards list. In the past, I've done this snap grades thing where I say like between C- and A+. I basically just thought, I don't really want to talk about all those C tier cards. I want to talk about the good cards, the cards that are going to see real competitive play. So let's get into it. Of the 72 support cards for these 9 characters, I've pulled out 18 here. Starting off, I have completely skipped Toga 4's kit. I don't think we get any competitive cards from her kit. And I'm jumping straight into Kendo's kit. 4 diff, big fist, overhand punch. 3 mid block, 2 high 5. And it's a combo. Okay, so we've got a bad block modifier. We are understated for a 4 diff. And the only enhance on this card is a combo enhance. So this is going to have to be a really, really good enhance to justify its inclusion as one of my competitive cards. Look at the top 3 cards of your deck and put them back in any order, then draw 1 card. And the combos with the mid attack, that's quite easy to get off, especially if you're running mid attack openers. You want to open with your 5 diff mid attack, and then play Big Fist Overhead Punch as your second attack and get this combo ability off. Now look at the top 3, and then you get to selectively draw one of those 3, and then your next 2 checks. This is a massive amount of value in that enhance. This is a little funny because I don't think Kendo herself probably plays much of this card, even though it's in Kendo's kit because it combos off of a mid attack. I think it's going to see a lot of play outside of Kendo. Look at the top 3, draw the attack that you see in those 3, keep those 2 foundations. Now you know that you're checking 5s. Or you know that you saw 2 attacks, you draw one of them, you put a 5 check on next. Maybe the next attack you play draws a card and you put that attack on bottom, and now you know that you're drawing that attack. There's so much value in this enhance, it's going to see competitive play. Okay, Kendo's Ultra Rare. Double Jumbo Fist. 4 diff, 4 mid 4, 1 mid block, punch slam. While this card is in your card pool, your other mid attacks get +1/+1. Enhance, add 1 copy of Double Jumbo Fist from your discard pile to your card pool. This attack is +2/+2. So as a finisher, this is a 4 diff, 7 mid 7. I love when the stats of a card equal 3x the difficulty. So for a 4 diff, I'll play an attack for stats alone if it has 12 stats. A 7 mid 7 would be 14 stats. You're getting it to 6 mid 6, but because you put a Double Jumbo Fist in your card pool, and that one says your other mid attacks get +1/+1, it would become a 7/7. That is really, really good just as a finisher, has a great block modifier, and if you use it as an opener, let's say you only draw this and focused attack. Well, you can play Double Jumbo Fist, and then you can get the focus attack combo off. Now, also, if you just play this as like an opener, and you don't play that enhance at all, and then you play 3 more mid attacks, or even 2 more mid attacks, then it was worth it on stats, because it would be a 4/4 that gave 2/2, or gave 3/3 later on in the string. So, I'm a big fan of this card. I think it's going to see a lot of play. And it's not too hard to find a copy in your discard pile to get that enhance off. Next up, Jiro's kit, Amplifier Jack Attack. 4 diff, 4 mid 4, 2 mid block, nothing special so far. But in the static, it says, this attack gets -1 difficulty if you have at least 2 other charge attacks in your card pool. Okay, so if you have 2 charge attacks in your card pool, this is not a 4 difficulty move, it's a 3 difficulty move. And it has powerful 3 on it. I went on UVS Ultra and looked, have we ever had an attack that was 3 difficulty with powerful 3 on it? And the answer is no. In the history of this game, there's never been a 3 difficulty attack with powerful 3. Now, I know there's probably other attacks similar to this one where it's maybe a 4 diff that plays like a 3 diff in certain situations. So this is not a true 3 difficulty attack, and I get that. But if you're playing this all charge lineup, like if you're on the all symbol and you're playing Deku 5, is that the one that likes charges? I think it is. Then what a great card here. And it's 4 speed, so that's decent as your finisher. Hey, a 3 diff finisher at the end of your attack string with powerful 3, I will take that. Also, this response is sneaky strong. Spend a momentum after you play this card, look at your rival's hand. It says after you play this card, not after you play this attack, which means you can use this on defense. Hey, you block their attack on defense, spend a momentum. I know exactly which attacks I need to damage reduce, which attacks I need to use like Cape of No Return on, what block zones I need to keep, what I need to be worried about. You can plan out your whole defense on seeing your rival's hand. There's no more questions to be asked on your side unless they draw more cards. But also, you can look at their block zones, and then you can say, okay, if I live this turn, I know the block zones. There's all sorts of information that an experienced player can gain off of this response. So 3 diff with powerful 3, 4 mid, 4 3 diff, powerful 3, and this very unique, interesting response. I think it'll see competitive play. Maybe not massive competitive play, but certainly it'll certainly appear time to time. 1 difficulty foundation, Stars in Her Eyes. It checks a 4. It's a 3 low block, but it gives a damage pretty free. It says if you have 2 or more charge attacks in your card pool, your attack gets +1 damage. So if you're playing a charge attack lineup, and charge is like one of the best keywords in the game, so why wouldn't, there's going to be a lot of people playing charge attack lineups, then this is just a free and repeatable +1 damage. If you're a spam foundation and you're giving stats, those are what I love. Free and repeatable, and that's what Stars in Her Eyes is. It reminds me of the 1 difficulty foundation paying the cost, and I've been a big fan of paying the cost personally in Jin, and this is a low block instead of a mid block. So I'm all in for this. You're going to see it a lot. Next up, Sniping Spy. We have a 2-check. 4 diff, 5 mid, 3, 2 mid block. Clear a card from your card pool. This attack is +X damage. X equals 5 minus the printed check value of the cleared card. So at bare minimum, this is probably going to be like 5 mid, 5, clear 1. Which I think kind of pays off the 2-check on its own. But also, you're going to have a lot of strategies where you have face down cards in your card pool. And when you do that, this becomes a 5 mid 8 clear 1. And that's very, very worth it, even as a 2-check. For example, like it has the evil symbol and the void symbol. You could use like Double Fist of the Mortal Flame and Echo, right? Echo it. It flips upside down after you echo. Play Sniping Spy, get that 5 mid 8. And you even got to clear. So now you got to play 3 attacks. You only have 1 attack in your card pool. And Double Fist didn't even cost you a momentum. Seems like a really good combo. I think this is going to see play. Pressured by All for One. 2 diff, 4 check, 1 mid block. It is unique. It says destroy 2 foundations. Your ranged or weapon attack gets 3 damage. Now that is a pretty high cost, destroying 2 foundations. Because of that high cost, I'm not sure it necessarily needed unique. And it is keyword locked to ranged or weapons, but let's be honest, ranged and weapons. Most good cards these days are ranged or weapon. And +3 damage, like over the course of a lethal attack string, this foundation, having it on stage, could be +9 damage. If you do this 3 attacks in a row, I don't care that I blew up my entire stage. I'm killing you. I'm winning the game. I think it'll see a lot of play. I think it definitely deserves to check a 4. Unique, maybe justified. I just don't care about blowing up my entire stage if I'm winning the game. And +3 damage is like, that is a serious amount of damage output to be adding to these attacks. I think Lady Nagant, probably especially, really wants to see this card. Next up, Rifle Arm. 2 diff, 3 low block, 5 check weapon. You can commit for +2 or -2 speed. If it's the only attack in its owner's card pool, it's +3 or -3 speed instead. Commit for +3 or -3. Like, commit for -3 is like really, really good for a 1 diff. Just on defense. Like, we see a lot of 1 diff foundations that say commit for -2 speed. Make it -3 if some condition is met. Well, this is a 2 diff that you get to commit for -3 speed on their first attack. But what makes this foundation so great is the versatility of it, that you can also use it on your turn, that you can commit it for +3 speed. This is going to lend itself to a really strong like poke turns, where you play like some 5 speed move, you commit this, you say, hey, it's an 8 speed move. Do you really want to block this? And then you get the momentum. Like, committing this is going to be the difference between that attack getting blocked or that attack dealing damage and going to momentum, and then furthering some, like on Void, you can then discard it for Hacker Extraordinaire to draw and flip an asset, or get some, some sort of benefit for getting that momentum. Also, it's going to be really solid defense. Even if it's not your rival's first attack, a lot of times your rival's clearing their card pool in some way to where that that -3 could come online. I think it's going to see a lot of play. Okay, Acid Splash. 4 diff, 0 low, 5, 2 mid block. This is the card in this competitive cards list that I'm the least confident about. Deflect 2. This is the new keyword. Deflect means you can just throw it down into your card pool from your hand before the damage step and say, hey, I'm taking 2 less damage. How good is Deflect? We're not really sure yet. I've got to start playing with the cards to truly understand. It's basically like, okay, I'm committed out. I can't do anything about it. Deflect 2. It's going to feel really strong when your rival perfectly counted to lethal absolutely commits themselves out to get this lethal move, and then you throw down a Deflect. I'm all in favor of more hand traps in the game. I think having to make decisions based on risk-reward analysis of what your rival could be holding in hand is really interesting. All that said, I don't think the keyword is that powerful. Like Deflect 2 to me is basically like Stun 1 or Breaker 1. Like I'm not playing a card to get Stun 1 or Breaker 1, but it's nice to have it. It's nice to have it. But on the enhances, you get to flip a card to card pool. It's getting X speed, X equals the difficulty. So if you lead off with a 5 difficulty attack and then you play this, flip that. Now this is a 4 diff, 5 low, 5, which is fine stats. It's not great, but it's a little overstated than most 4 diffs. And then you can spend a momentum to selectively destroy a rival foundation. I think this is going to be worth it. There's enough going on here. Slightly above normal stats. Spend momentum to destroy a rival foundation. I'd say that's like a good B tier worth effect. And Deflect 2, I think is like a B minus tier effect. When you put it all together, I think you get a 4 diff attack that's doing enough to justify its existence in competitive play. It also shares the death symbol, and then you could use things like Forcing Surrender. Like, that's kind of a neat combo. Hey, I'll flip this, I'll flip Forcing Surrender, I'll get rid of that face down. Things like that. Luna Ring, 5 diff, 4 high 4, 1 mid block. Enhance, destroy a rival asset. We've seen assets getting a lot better recently, so having just a very free enhance, hey, I'll just destroy that. That seems nice. If your rival's running a lot of assets, I could see Luna Ring being in sideboards purely to destroy those assets. If all this says is I destroy your Idun box, it was very, very worth it. Enhance, this attack has +1 damage for each card that's been destroyed this turn. So this could very easily be 4 high 9, 4 high 10, 4 high 11. I really like how this attack can either be a strong opener to destroy a troublesome asset, or a strong finisher to deal like 10 something damage. It's on 2 Karasu symbols, I think. Death and Fire, meaning you could double up on Karasu's damage. That's still not adding speed, but imagine if this thing, gets like plus 16 damage or something just crazy like that. Hey, 21 damage Luna Ring. You better be able to block that. Rabbit Finesse, 1 diff, 3 mid block. This is just a nice defensive spam foundation. Commit for -2 speed. If a foundation's been destroyed, this enhanced step gets -3 speed instead. So if you're playing any sort of defense where you're destroying your own stage, a 1 diff committing for -3 will always, always, always be A tier. And I don't think that's too hard of a cost. Destroying something. I haven't checked, but I'm positive that there's something on Air, Death, and Fire that destroys on defense. Probably should have checked first, but I didn't. Okay, Unabashed Manner. 2 low block, 1 diff, 5 check, remove. After this card enters your discard pile during the enhanced step, your next attack gets +2 damage. Ah, darn it. I thought that said your attack gets +2 damage. And now that I read it back to myself, I realized I read it wrong. Pippa always makes fun of me because I can't read cards correctly. Okay, so Maybe I would put this in more niche play instead of on the competitive cards list. Okay, I messed up, but still kind of good. I mean, you can use this in like Endeavor 3 when you're milling yourself. You can use it on any sort of thing where you're like on the death symbol with Mop Strike, where you discard a card. Next attack gets 2 damage. You can self-destroy it in your stage. We see people playing that 1 diff, 3 low block that says Tenacious Flip for +2 damage. Well, this is very similar to that, except it's an even better block. You're getting to destroy, discard, or just mill and get 2 damage. So I think it's pretty solid. Now, it's much, much better if it said your attack gets +2 damage and not your next attack gets 2 damage. So when I put together this presentation a couple nights ago, I did not completely read the card. That's on me. It'd probably be more in the niche play and not necessarily on this list. Still good. Okay, Canister Creation Strike. 5 diff, 4 low 5, 2 mid block. This one is like the Magic players are saying this is like Birthing Pod in UVS. So apparently Birthing Pod was a quite loved card. You get to say lose 2 health, remove a foundation, build a foundation with printed difficulty X from your discard pile. X equals the remove foundation's printed difficulty +1. So I have got this committed 2 diff. Well, I'll remove my committed 2 diff and I'll build in this 3 diff ready. Basically, if you remove a committed foundation, build in a ready, that makes this attack play like a 4 diff instead of like a 5 diff, and a 4 low 5 on a 4 diff is perfectly fine. And you get this bottom enhance, spend a momentum, gets +1 damage for each face-up card with exactly 1 card in your stage. So spend a momentum, 5 damage, 6 damage probably on average. I don't think that's bad at all. I think I have not personally thought of any cool combos quite yet with this card, but I would be shocked if there wasn't some sort of crazy combo, some sort of 2 diff to build into a 3 or 1 diff to build into a 2. I guess it's even on like ultra regen symbols, destroy a 3 diff, build in ultra regen. There's definitely something here. It's going to see play. I haven't quite worked out the combos quite yet. Scrap Cannon. This one might not quite deserve to be on this list. Maybe it's a little more niche. 5 diff, 5 high 4. Flip 2 foundations to flip a rival foundation. You get to flip your 0 diffs, maybe that you don't care about, but you get to flip a really powerful rival foundation. Getting to snipe, flip a rival foundation is we see people playing 5 mid 5 Dragon Strike just to do that. So this is a 5 high 4, 1 low block with powerful 3. There's a little more utility to this than Dragon Strike. Sure, flip 2 foundations is a cost, but it's not going to be a serious cost in a lot of characters. And then you get this enhance. You can remove assets from your stage as though you were spending momentum to pay the cost for this attack's powerful ability. So what immediately comes to mind for me is Earth Mimic. And you can just make this 20 damage or something crazy like that, just getting rid of all your assets. I haven't thought of anybody beyond Mimic who would just go crazy with that enhance, but there's got to be something there. There's got to be something there, right? 2 diff, Refreshing Blend, 2 mid block, spend a momentum, gain 2 health, spend a momentum, ready 1 foundation that's not been readied this combat phase. So we have a lot of flexibility here. Most of the time you're going to be using it for the bottom enhance, but spending a momentum to ready a foundation is going to be very, very good. You can selectively choose the foundation that you want to ready, and then spending the momentum to gain 2 health. Maybe you use this with like carbo loading on the life symbol so that you can just re-ready your carbo loading. Maybe there's something there. Next up, Steadfast Resolve. Hey, self-sacrifice was always a really good foundation. 1 diff, 1 low block, destroy for ±1 damage. This says destroy a foundation after an attack is played. It gets +1 or -1 damage. So it's at response speed instead of enhanced speed. It's a 3 low block instead of a 1 low block. But self-sacrifice was absolutely cracked. And this is like bad self-sacrifice. And that's still good. Bad self-sacrifice is still good. And you can use this on flash attacks, either defensively or on offense. I don't know if it shares symbols with any good flashes. I see the life symbol, so it shares symbol with the Tornado Fist, Gen Flash. That could be quite good. Butte Basher, 5 diff, 6 low 4, 2 low block. Your rival flips 1 foundation. If they have 8 or more foundations, they flip an additional foundation. And it has deflect 2. I think of this as a Byakko card. Hey, I'm going to play this. You're going to flip 2. I'm going to Byakko. I'm going to make you flip a 3rd. And Byakko really wants attacks with a high speed. So 6 speed, force you to flip 3. I think it's going to see play. I'm not sure if this is what they were talking about with geological formations, with like Butte and Mesa, or if we're Mesa. I'm not really sure, or if we're still waiting on those. Short Cake Admirer, 3 diff, 5 check, 2 low block. Remove spend a momentum, add a high attack from your card pool to your hand. So you're clearing progressive. That's why it removes itself instead of just flipping, spending a momentum, but you get to add that high attack back. There's a lot of very, very solid high attacks right now. It is unique. I could see like 1 or 2 of this being in a lot of decks, and it's just a nice low block. Clearing your card pool and bringing it back to your hand will always be good. I don't think it shares symbols with Tasty Ref. Maybe it does does Tasty Ref have good? I think Tasty Ref has good. So you can pull your Tasty Ref back to your hand and play it again. That seems like a nice combo. Mesa. Okay, 3 diff, support gear updates. Commit 1 foundation, your high attack is +2 speed. Tenacious, spend a momentum, ready this card. I think this is going to be solid. You could just commit itself, basically, for 2 speed, spend a momentum to ready it, effectively saying that you're getting EX2 on any attack that you like, right? Because you're just spending that momentum for 2 speed, not having to get rid of any sort of resource. Or you could commit other foundations, or you could even commit your character for 2 speed. Like, I think this shares symbols with Mirko, Mirko 2, so like the fire symbol. I think Mirko 2 has fire. You could commit Mirko for the 2 speed, destroy something, ready Mirko. Yeah, I think, you can always spend a momentum to ready this card. That's good on defense. That effectively says that on defense, sometimes if you spend a momentum, this can say commit for -2 speed, which isn't great, but it's something. It's definitely something. So I think there's a lot of versatility here with support gear updates. There's a lot of solid high attacks in the format. Saying, hey, my Tasty Riff gets 2 speed and is now 7 speed. That's probably just solid enough. The fact that you can spend a momentum to ready it is what makes this card so good. Like, I didn't quite put Solo Pro Ferocity in here as a super competitive card. I think it is going to be quite competitive, but more niche. I think this one is a 2 diff instead of a 3 diff, and the spend a momentum to ready is more powerful than Solo Pro's like commit flip to do something. I can't remember what it was doing, but really like support gear updates. And that's going to do it for these full kits. Those are the 18 cards that I think we got from the kits that are going to be quite competitive. And then the characters themselves, like I said, I think it's a little lower in terms of power level, but that's okay. We get Momo, and I think Momo will be quite strong. Kendo, Lady Nagant, Mirko, Toga, take your pick. You can probably make them work for your local qualifier and take down locals with them. So with that said, let's jump into UVS Ultra and just look at some of these other cards here that I kind of passed over. Let's see. Toga's kit, I think, really is so bad. Spring the Trap, maybe. Momentum saying flip to choose a card doesn't count towards progressive, but you're almost never getting the draw off. Flip to selective draw is like fine, but it's on a 2 diff with the 3 high block. Perceived Weakness is probably the card in this kit that's like could see the most play, since it's tenacious. If your rival's lost health this turn, your weapon attack is +1/+1. Barrier Buster was going to be crazy. This would have been a crazy card if Snack Time was still legal. Without Snack Time, probably not going to see a lot of competitive play. Analytical Combatant is interesting, especially with all these foundations that say commit a foundation. After this card is committed, look at the top card of your deck, and then you can know whether to draw it or whether to keep it there for your check. Big Sister B is like commit for +2/+1 or -2/-1. Something to prove would have been good if it simply said keywords, but because it says keyword abilities and doesn't count keyword traits, I think that takes it out of like competitive play. Thoughtful Classmate, getting to add a mid attack from your card pool to your hand. This is pretty cool for like Dimensional Sphere. Like, hey, I'll play my Dimensional Sphere. I'll get to draw 2, discard 1. Now I'll pull it back, and now I've got some throw hate or just an Omni block. Heartbeat Surround, I think this is quite good. It just doesn't quite do enough to be included in a lot of decks. While it's in your card pool, your rival commits a foundation after your charge attack deals damage. Basically, this is forcing your rival to block your early attacks, and then you can come over the top with the Haymaker final. You know, you force them to block their early attacks. And if they didn't block an early attack, then they had to commit one. And then your next attack gets +1 damage for each of its keywords. So typically this is like a 5 mid 6 opener that says +3 damage to your next one. That's pretty solid on stats alone. And it has this deadlock stun too, so it kind of scales well with the late game. I almost put this on my competitive cards list, but it's just not quite doing enough to get there. Juicebox Hero, I think, is quite cool. Spend a momentum, gets a damage for each of its keywords. So this could be like, hey, all of your attacks selectively get like 1 instance of powerful 3 or powerful 4, and then you can flip to sometimes draw. But it is a 2-diff flip draw. I'd much rather have flip draw into 1-diff. It's a 2-diff because you're also getting this top enhance. Sound Sensitivity is neat. I think it's a sideboard card, though, if you're going against a stun deck. Overwatch Trigger has to be the worst 2-check in the game. Did they add the Mushroom Girl in UVS Ultra? Yes. Mushroom Girl is here. I'm just not doing the mini kits today. I'm going to talk about the mini kits in a separate video. Today I'm just talking about the full kits. But Mushroom Girl is here. Spoiler alert, this character to me looks a lot of fun, but I also think she's kind of bad. But that's okay, because this whole split gill shroom shooter thing, it's fun enough to where I don't care if it's bad, I'm going to play it anyway. And I'm quite positive that she'll be a popular character because the design is so unique. Let's see. Cheerful Teen almost made it to my competitive cards. Commit after something's destroyed, draw. Commit to draw is always nice to have. You typically see it on a 2-diff instead of a 3-diff. But this is also getting flip each player as the top card of their deck to their card pool face down. This is going to be really good in Mina 2 and Mina 3. As far as everybody else, it'll be quite good defense when you can't block anymore. So I could see this finding niche play. Maximum Viscosity, maybe for the Minas. After your rival loses health, ready this card. A 1-diff 5-check that says flip ready will always be good. Luna Arc is probably fine. I'm not a fan of this ultra rare though. If your rival's not taking damage, it gets 2 speed. Okay, 5/5 on a 4-diff. I mean, sure, that's a little better than 4 mid 4, which like 4/4, which is typically what we see, but it's not that much better. And then you have to spend a momentum for the bottom enhance. Your rival, and then it might not even mean anything. They just have to reveal a low block. I think it's a really bad ultra rare, in my opinion. Solar Pro's Ferocity almost made it. It's just, if it wasn't keyword locked, it would have definitely made it to my competitive cards. If you're playing a Fury or a Kick deck, though, you're probably going to put in a Solar Pro's Ferocity. Quick Like a Rabbit. It's good. I mean, I swear there was a Bakugo Foundation 2-diff that did this exact same thing. And it was like a 2 mid block. And it didn't see widespread play. So, I mean, destroy after your Fury or Kick attack is blocked. Clear it from your card pool. That's good. Researching the Answer is kind of cute. But it does take some work to set up. You have to have 6 or more face-up foundations with exactly 1 copy in your stage. That's too much setup for this card to really pay off. And then ultimately, it's a 3-diff that's drawing 1. Sure, you're drawing it before you have to play any forms. That's the best time to draw. But you're just a 3-diff that's drawing 1. And you have to set it up. And the setup is so difficult. So a little too much work to be put in. Gargantuan Grapple. I can see this in a lot of throw decks. Hey, getting stun, discarding momentum to get Breaker 2 or Stun 2. Yeah, I can see it. But if you don't have the momentum, it's just a 2/4 throw. Mason Mallet, this is a funny card. If you spend anytime you spend momentum, your rival's committing a card. Yeah, I'm 5 hours early, Victor. I am 5 hours early. If you reveal the card, add the top card of your deck to your momentum. So, what's that card that says reveal a card? It's on Earth. It was an Endeavor card. It says reveal a card in your hand. If the next card you try to play matches that card, then it gets -1 difficulty. Could be this. There's something here with Mason Mallet. Strategic Meeting is neat. Typically, we see like foundations that destroy themselves to get momentum, but this is simply saying flip for momentum. Now it's a 3-def instead of a 2-def. There's probably better things you can be doing with your 3-def, but hey, flipping a foundation for momentum, that's not bad at all. If you're a momentum hungry deck, you might really want that, and there's a lot of chaos decks that'll want that. Training Todoroki is a funny card. Flip, your attack gets a damage bonus equal to its highest keyword rating. What comes to my mind is on order, you get access to like Extendo Hairstrike, where you can make it like EX10, and then you can flip Training Todoroki for like +10 damage. That would be interesting. Zero Gravity Tag is good. If you're a 1A character, you're going to like this. Discard a card. Check gets 2, commit a foundation, gets 2 damage, your rival commits 1. Zero Satellites is the worst ultra rare in the set. Absolutely terrible. Exhausted Slumber is the worst card in the set. This has to be a mistake, right? This after this foundation is stunned, your block modifier gets +2. It has to have meant -2. But if it really is +2, then it's the worst card in the set. Yeah, and that's really it for the full kit. So there's quite a bit of other cards that I think could see niche play. But these were the 18 cards. Oops, let me come back here. These were the 18 cards that I felt like are going to see widespread competitive play. And that is going to do it for my full kit reveals. Now, that said, the full kits only were like the first, let's see, 9 x 9, 81, were only the first 81 cards of the set. This is a 180 card set. So we have almost 100 more cards to reveal. There is a lot coming. I'm going to be making more videos in the future, grading the mini kits and grading the back page. But that is going to do it for tonight. I appreciate everybody joining me. I've been a little low energy today. I apologize. I am feeling under the weather, but I wanted to get this done. I wanted to get this video out there because I know some people have been saying, hey, where's the snap grades for Girl Power? What are your thoughts on Girl Power? And I put this together like days ago. I just haven't quite been feeling up to it.